Hi guys, welcome back to the channel on a brand new video on Marvel Contest of Champions. As we know, 2017 has been a big year for new champions being added into the game. Obviously, we have seen the likes of Archangel, Iceman, Psylocke, Cable, Kingpin, Thor Ragnarok, Gwenpool, Blade, Hood, Dormammu, Morningstar, Mephisto, King Groot, Medusa, Carnage, Angela, Hela, Nebula, Punisher 2099, Yondu, Stark Spidey, Vulture, Green Goblin, Dr. Octavius or Doc Ock, Taskmaster, and finally MODOK. Through general feedback and looking at the forum as well as popular opinion polls, it seems that the 6 champions that the community have chosen to be the most popular are Archangel, Iceman, Gwenpool, Blade, Mephisto, and Stark Spidey, aka Starky. Special mentions go out to Dormammu, Kingpin, MODOK, Taskmaster, Hela, Medusa, Yondu, and Thor Ragnarok. Even though they're not making the cut of the top 6, they're still highly regarded as decent champions in the game for different reasons. It's just that the community feels strong around the 6 that we're going to discuss, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at them in great detail and just analyze why, in particular, they are highly regarded as some of the best champions added in 2017. Let's begin with Archangel. This guy is pretty darn unique. He is one of very few that can do bleed and poison damage, as well as stun. But that's not what makes him totally amazing. What makes him absolutely amazing is his signature ability, increased toxicity, because he can reduce ability accuracy as well as block regeneration, which obviously if you're going up against a character like Magic, this guy is going to be pretty darn brilliant for that. The way that Archangel uses bleeds and poisons and creates his neurotoxin is pretty darn impressive with regards to damage output. Coupled with the fact of decent kind of critical damage means that you're going to be outputting a lot of damage if you have this. If you're fortunate to get him at 4-star, then that's great. If you've got him at 5-star, I'm very jealous of you because he's pretty amazing. Next up is Iceman. This guy, again, another amazing mutant. I'm so glad that we've got this guy in the game. This Omega level mutant has really kind of changed a lot of people's kind of thoughts on using the mutant line. As well, the fact that he has got full immunities is great. There's a few things with regards to consistencies with him actually receiving cold snaps. Say if he was going up against another Iceman, or currently in the game the Ice Phoenix. It is a little bit disappointing to see that he's not immune to it. So that's a thing that a slight criticism. However, he is still brilliant. What makes Iceman so amazing is his energy damage dealing. We've got frostbites and cold snaps that are then put onto the enemy, and it's so cool to kind of apply all this damage as well, just like putting in L1s and like seeing the kind of amount of cold snaps and frostbites kind of mount up, and then that all just kind of then go, and you see your enemy just crumble with the extent of energy damage that they've got. Obviously, if they've got energy resistance on, then that's, you know, that's going to be a bit annoying. But at the same time, it's good to see that because then you can just, you know, swipe back and chill and watch the damage just kind of roll off the enemy, which is just so cool. One thing I really like is the frost armor, that kind of concept that you can not take a significant amount of damage. Likewise, if you're then about to be stunned, that you then kind of like shake it off. And you see that if you fight things like Ice Phoenix quite recently as well, just fighting against Iceman, if you parry him, you're going to find that he's going to then shrug that off and he's going to then kick your butt. So you've got to have a little bit of caution when playing up against him. As well, if you then go for the L3, you can then reform your ice armor, which again is quite cool to then have that back on there and feel that you're a lot stronger. So yeah, Iceman, pretty darn good. Energy damage, as well as all those kind of lovely cold snaps and frostbites, are just going to mean for some wicked damage on enemies. So my current favourite champion, the one I'm going to talk about next, is Blade. I'm quite fortunate to have him awakened at 4-star, and then I've got him at 5-star. You know, I've not really spent much time playing with the 4-star, so I spend a lot of time playing with the 5-star. And obviously, if I want the regeneration factor of things, then obviously I will go for the 4-star version. I haven't upped him up to 5-star because I'm waiting to awaken him because, well, I want that regen. That regen's cool. So the skill catalysts at tier 4 are kind of reserved for 5-star Blade. Blade has been this unexpected kind of godsend in that there's so many things going right for this champion, which I absolutely love. On the kind of general ability side of things, we've got Danger Sense, and Danger Sense with regards to just a general use in a general questing without any kind of synergy bonus is good. It's going to help against things like dimensional beings, as it says there, and also kind of help down for ability accuracy reduction. When you compare that and or kind of contain that with other synergy groups, so we've got the heightened senses, Spirit of Justice, and even Demon Hunter with Dormammu, Ghost Rider, and Stark Spider. You kind of combine all these things together. You're able to really utilize Danger Sense for so many different aspects of the game. So if we want to unlock it against villains, and this is where a lot of people are saying that if you go up against MODOK and you want to take down that ability accuracy, and say you don't have other champions, that blade is an option based on the fact that it now extends to villains. And obviously if you then put in the Stark Spidey, you've got that 45% potency for Danger Sense bonuses. So obviously we're increasing the amount of ability accuracy reduction, which is tasty as hell. Blade's bleed is really good. It's quite effective. Not on the same level to say Gwenpool, but still like really high up there. The next thing is every time that the enemy is bleeding, he then gets power gain, which is great. Obviously, but you got to keep that bleed consistent with regards to hitting out. Obviously, well-timed blocks as well, and that's one thing that going up against MODOK, being blocked sometimes is a kind of a necessity, because obviously he's got, if you try and strike him out, he'll get that kind of auto block, which is really frustrating. So it's good to know that if you do a well-timed block, that you're able to inflict the bleed. Also, one thing I like to do is I like to put on an L1 and then try and build up to an L2 and put the L2 on, because it's just like keeping this bleed kind of consistent and stronger, which obviously then builds back up my power. Blade is one champion that I'm really enjoying at the moment, and I think that he's going to like catapult me through a lot of content, especially with regards to Act 5 stuff, minus the stuff that heal blocks you. Next one up is Gwenpool. This is a champion that, well, I've, had to make the cut. Her bleeds are impressive. We've got as well the fact that we can incinerate, and also there is a power locking function, which is pretty cool. I think that's something that for skill line, the skill line has really been boosted with champions like Kingpin, Gwenpool, Thor Ragnarok, and even Blade. So the skill line has got some real strength this year, which is so good, because I don't think in 2016 we had a very strong look when it came to skill. Gwenpool's plot armor is kind of cool, because obviously you're not going to die from special attacks that are too strong, which is nice. That's good to it's good to see that. That's again quite unique, and it does mean that the champion can be played unduped. It's not going to mean so much of an issue. There's a lot of emphasis on bleed, and obviously there's stun chances per bleed. That's cool. Heavy attacks as well, dealing a good amount of direct damage. I know a lot of people have kind of complained they're not too happy about some stuff with regards to heavy attack, because there was an exploit with regards to doing a constant bleed type or kind of constant kind of heavy attack in Labyrinth of Legends, which again Kabam said was an exploit, but it's like, again, fine line between that and it just being something that people are going, yes, okay, there's a strategy to it. Okay, so we got heavy attack, yep, okay, 6,080 direct damage. Obviously that will vary based on storage, and the same thing with regards to other things with regards to special one. I love the fact that we've got so much damage that this champion can output, whether or not it's bleeds, whether or not it's incinerates. There's just so much going on for this champion. I think she's brilliant, and a lot of people in the community do highly rate her. Next up is Mephisto, a pretty unique champion in that he is immune to all poisons in the battle realm. Also as well that he generates 12% power per second for taking incinerate energy damage, and immune to frostbite and cold snap. So if you're going against Ice Phoenix, this would be a pretty darn decent champion. So very jealous for anybody that had Mephisto that went into the MODOK's hotel. When below 30% health, he can absorb his soul charges, his persistent soul charges, which he can get from kind of traveling fight by fight, and he just absorbs them and kind of like take back some of his health, which this concept of going fight by fight, similar to Morningstar and things like that, it's unique. It's good to see these new things in the game. It does kind of put this kind of original content in, but at the same time it can be a bit annoying, especially if you're going up against one that's got a load of soul charges. You'll see from time to time that he'll get Aura of Incineration, he'll gain power, and then opponents take incinerate damage, which is really annoying. So obviously if you've got energy resistance with some champions, that's great, but at the same time you're going to take damage, and it's so annoying when it happens. So he's really good. Like they even say when they put this guy in the game, he's really built to be an Alliance Wars defender, and he is a pain in the butt. Another frustrating thing about Mephisto is his passive ability accuracy modifications. He's immune to them, which, if you're setting something up and you're just like, oh, this is quite cool, and it's like, oh man, this is not going to help out stuff and I need ability accuracy, that's, you know, it's just tough tits, really. You're going to go up against a strong character. The final point to really say about Mephisto is even Marvel Contest of Champions say that Quake is the only weakness to this guy. So that's really annoying, just to kind of like say, yeah, not anybody, just Quake. I'm sure that they didn't want to list off a load of them, but at the same time, you know, it's just like, just Quake. So if you got Quake, good. If you don't, then it's going to be a bit annoying. And our final champion to talk about is Spider-Man Stark Enhanced. This character came completely out of nowhere. It was in line with the Spider-Man Homecoming film, so it's kind of cool to see a champion quite like this, and obviously he has amazing signature abilities and general abilities. Spider-Man Stark Enhanced evolves from the other Spider-Mans. Yes, you do get that aspect of evade, but with this guy, the crits are more juicier. Stay above 50% and you're doing a lot more damage. Get below 50% and it's all about trying to keep Spider-Man alive with increased block proficiency as well as increased chances of evade. Players that use the champion like to evade out and increase the amount of poise. And as we know, each charge of poise grants a certain amount of attack rating increase. Obviously that will change starage to starage. Obviously at 3-star, this is 102.4. As you go up the starage ratings, this is going to increase exponentially. Spider-Man Stark Enhanced is just a complete powerhouse when it comes to crits as well as evades and everything else that a champion needs to be if you are literally thrusting it in the god tier. We've got another aspect that's cool about him, that he can taunt villains and also gain more from that. The same thing when it comes to the L2 and doing damage against robots, especially when it comes to shock. So there is like so many kind of cool concepts and different structures to this champion that make him so darn cool. So that's been the top 6 champions of 2017 that the community have really resonated to. And obviously these champions were chosen based on the fact that they've got amazing damage output and can really function well when it comes to being unduped. And there's a good shout obviously for certain champions to be ranked up. Granted, a lot of them will be incredibly better when it comes to be awakened, but at the same time could function admirably without having that awakening gem placed on them. So thank you very much for watching this video. I've been RichTheMan. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe for Marvel Contest of Champions based content, and leave a thought in the comment section below about champions of 2017. I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.